Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Men's Soccer Edition, and my guest for this week's show was none other than freshman midfielder on the men's soccer team, Evan Snodgrass. Evan, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Let's start by getting to know you a little bit better. You're from San Mateo. You went to Hillsdale High School just up the El Camino Real. You now find yourself playing collegiate soccer just down the road from where you grew up. How much of a role did that play in your decision to coming to Menlo?
Well, when looking at colleges, I definitely want a smaller school because my high school is a pretty small school. I was thinking about staying closer to home, not leaving California, and I just really liked the atmosphere I felt here. It's really nice being so close to home because my parents come to all the games, my grandparents come to all the games, which is cool, and then also on the weekends I can go home and have dinner or whatever it is.
There's really no substitute for mom's cooking on the weekends.
Exactly,
I'll tell you that.
yeah.
I grew up in Salinas, not too far away from here either, down the 101, and that was the best part. If I wanted to go home for the weekend, I could, and I tell you what, best decision I ever made. What's the favorite thing that she cooks up?
Oh, I don't know. I really like her ham, honey glazed ham. I think it's so good.
Stop it.
I don't know why. I just love it when she makes it.
Stop it. That sounds like a perfect holiday meal right there,
exactly,
I'm telling you.
Exactly.
Now, right away, you've made an impact for the Oaks. You scored 4 goals in your first 13 games, including 1 here this past week. What enables you to find so many open seams in the defense?
I mean, I don't think it's anything personally that I do any different. I think that our midfield is really good at exploiting the back line, and then I'm pretty fast, so I can just get in behind, and I've just been in the right place, the right time a bunch, so it's been going good.
There's a lot of local talent on this team. How many of the players did you know before coming to Menlo, and what is that kind of bond like?
Well, I think I only knew like 2 players. I knew Brett because I played against him in high school, and that was always fun. We were kind of like rival schools. And then Alex Avila I had heard a lot about because one of my teammates went to the same high school as him. And I mean, me and Brett have a good connection just because we can always be like, oh, remember this game, remember when we did this. And then me and Alex, we kind of think the same because we're from the same area.
And I'm sure you and Brett have a really good feel for what you do as players on the field, so that kind of helps set you guys up better when you're passing the ball between each other.
Exactly.
And let's talk about a little bit about the team here. You guys looked pretty happy to be back home. You had a win against San Diego Christian and a tie against Arizona Christian last week. How big of a comfort was it to be back at home after spending so much time on the road?
It's great to be at home because we just have like our own fans there supporting us, not like yelling at us. They're just kind of giving us super like good vibes, and then also like it's nice not having to travel the day of and figure out, oh, what are we going to eat? When do we have to be at the field? It's nice just having like that set plan again.
And having your parents there as well.
And having my parents, which is great.
Now, Menlo got the offense rolling. You had 3 goals in the second half against San Diego Christian. One of those, your goals as well. What adjustments were made at half to finally push you guys maybe a little bit further to finally find the back of the net? You guys had chances in the first half, just weren't able to cash in.
I think we just, at half, we just talked about being patient and that we're going to wear this team down, that we're faster than them, we're in better shape, we're more physical. If we just keep doing what we did in the first half, the goals will come. And everybody just kind of bought into that, and then once we found the back of the net for the first time, the other 2 just kind of followed.
That first goal was courtesy of Eric Hackman. He's got 9 on the season now in his first year at Menlo College. What kind of difference has he made for the team?
I love having him be at center forward. It's great, having a guy as big as him who's also as mobile as him. He can hold up the ball well. He can find a bunch of good 1-2s in behind. It's just nice having that physical presence up there.
It really seems like a nightmare of a matchup for an opposing defense. No matter what you try to throw at him, he's always got another skill set that's going to be able to evade whatever they give you.
Yeah, great finisher too, which is always good to have.
Yeah, I've been impressed with that so far. Now you guys are getting to the point in the schedule where travel is light and the opponents lighten up just a little bit as well. You don't have some of the top teams on the schedule. How hard is it to keep a sharp mentality during this part of the season?
I think the hardest part is definitely especially now with midterms going on, you have to take...
Bless your soul.
Yeah, you have to take accountability of when you need to get your stuff done, whether it's staying up an extra 5-10 minutes than you normally would to study something, or just making sure you're on top of everything you're doing. So not having to travel is definitely easier, not missing class. If you need to talk to a teacher or go to the math center or whatever it is, you can just do that. You don't have to send 10 emails.
For sure. Now you guys only have 1 game this week, so that helps as well. And it's in Rocklin, so just a 2.5-hour drive
on
or so.
On a Saturday too.
On a Saturday, so you don't have to miss any class.
Exactly.
So it's a win-win-win-win-win for you guys. William Jessup and you guys tied against them last year here at Menlo in a 4-4 shootout against the Warriors. And I know you weren't a part of that team, but how are you guys going to prevent them from scoring 4 goals this time around?
I just think if our defense does what it did in the past 2 games, and if we like transition well, that's been a big like theme all year. Our coach are always like, we gotta transition, and if like everyone just works as hard as we did these past 2 games, I think that we can prevent them from scoring.
All right, Evan, let's get into the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 random off-the-wall questions. You give me your best answer. Question number 1, which teammate has the worst goal celebration?
I don't know if like anyone has like a specific one. Like when we score, we kind of just like all come together and we're like, yeah, we scored. But there's definitely one that I didn't like a while ago when Eric scored and he like raised his ear up to like the crowd as if to be like, ooh, look, I scored. And I don't know, I'm not someone who's gonna go do like a big celebration, so I guess that's the one I didn't like.
Now, was this a home game or a road game?
I think it was a road game too.
Ooh, so he's taunting
exactly,
too.
Because they were talking a lot of stuff to us, and you know, it's always nice when you can.
That's a bold move.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the worst one you've seen in practice? Are there any in practice?
Oh, in practice? Oh gosh. I don't know, like sometimes we'll like mess around with our celebrations, like me and Trey have like this funny handshake we'll do if we score, or Jose, if he scores, he likes to throw his hands up in the air and like run around the field, which is pretty funny because he doesn't score often because he's a right back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think one of the best ones that I've ever heard of, and this one was never done in a game, unfortunately, but it was last year. You guys had a senior on the team, Nick Kroenke, and he would always joke around because he loved when I was broadcasting the games. And he told me one day when he scores a goal, he's going to do the broadcaster. He's going to stand out there, he's going to get someone to film the camera, he's going to stand in front of the camera, and he's going to act like he's a broadcaster, and he's going to give my goal call in the net.
That would be clever.
That would be very clever.
Maybe senior year, if I can get enough people to do it.
Or you could do it this year.
I don't know.
Group celebrations are all the in right now. I mean, you've seen it in the NFL, so
Yeah.
maybe it could fly here at the NAIA.
I don't know. I don't think it'd be worth the yellow card at this point.
Yeah, don't do it down the stretch here.
Yeah.
Maybe a non-conference yellow card when you guys
spring
are
season or something.
Yeah, I don't know, but good idea. Let's save that one for later. Question number 2: which teammate would make the best bodyguard or bouncer?
Oh, definitely Ephraim. He just looks so physically imposing. He is like a guy that like I know if I'm like walking past a club and he's outside, I'm not trying to go into that club. Like he's definitely someone like I remember the first week I was here and like I remember we'd be on the field and I was like, oh geez, this guy's huge. I'm gonna try not to get hit by him. Like he's a big guy, so definitely Ephraim.
He's also not a bad bodyguard to get on your good side. Also,
Oh, exactly.
He'd be a cool one to have.
He's intimidating.
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't on his team, like I know he's like he's a big sweetheart and stuff, but if I wasn't on his team, I'd be like, whoa, like this guy's kind of scary.
For sure. Question number 3: which teammate thinks a woodchuck can chuck all of the wood?
Alex Avila, because well, I know he's definitely said that joke at least 3 or 4 times to me. I don't know, I just feel like he's like a big guy, so he could probably think, oh, if I can chuck all the wood, like a woodchuck could do it. And yeah, he's just said the joke, so it's like it fits well.
I guess he kind of has the frame of a guy who can chuck wood.
Oh, yeah,
although I don't necessarily think he could, but I
don't
mean,
know.
Being from Redwood City, I don't know if they chuck wood in Redwood City, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I just thought because he said the joke, he might be good
well,
at
hey, fair enough. Evan, thank you for joining me on the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Oaks are on the road this weekend. Just one contest for Menlo College men's soccer. They are taking on the Warriors of William Jessup. It is on Saturday, and they kick off at 1:30 p.m. That one will be taking place after the women's game starts at 11 o'clock. They will be back at home the following week. We invite you to tune into next week's show when Evan Snodgrass will select the next interviewee on Unrooted Men's Soccer Edition. Until then, we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.